welcome or welcome back to my channel. This year I promised myself that I would try more new things, and not just the ones that life randomly throws at you, but ones that I choose. And honestly, some of those choices changed me in ways I didn't see coming. So whether you've been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, like you're spending too much time on your phone, unsure where to start, or honestly like your hobby lately has been shopping, and I hate to break it to you because I love shopping. I literally bought this yesterday, which like it's not making a great case for myself. I digress. Shopping is not a hobby. I hope this video inspires you to find something that excites you and also helps you discover parts of yourself you never knew. Find something that is uniquely yours. Today I want to talk to you all about hobbies. Hobbies that I have picked up this year, why you should pick up a hobby, how they've helped me reconnect with myself, know myself better, and also spend a little less time doom scrolling. Before I take you to the fun stuff, I thought I would give you the scientific explanations as to why hobbies are actually really good for you. These are based on a couple of studies and articles that I searched up. I will link them down below. They all agree that hobbies not only help with relaxation, with stress, supporting overall mental health and well-being. Many of them help with social interaction, feeling more connected not only to other people but also to the world, and build relationships and really foster that sense of community. Obviously this is going to be very hobby dependent, but I would say that almost any hobby can lead you to connecting with other people. You really never know where a hobby might lead you, which is the whole point of today's video. But yeah, they can help with anxiety, with stress, with life satisfaction. Beyond that, and this is my personal perspective on it, I've seen a lot of TikToks lately, and I know this is a generalization, but about how everyone is sort of like turning into the same person because we're all doing the same things. A lot of like influencers or just people that you follow online, they all seem to be living very similar lives, and it's like we're all just morphing into the same person. Now I know that is an exaggeration. Choose which parts of ourselves to share online. There is a whole other side to ourselves that you, if you follow me, you don't get to see because I just share some bits and bobs of my life, and that applies to anyone that shares their lives online, unless you're being filmed 24/7, which I don't think anyone is. But at the same time, there is some valid points in there. For many of us, there are parts of ourselves that are getting lost or ignored because we're trying to keep up with online expectations, with how a certain activity looks or how a certain outfit feels. I don't know if you have you been feeling the same way? Even with the books, I'm on book talk a lot. It does depend on the authors you follow, on the creators you follow. You can get a variety of recommendations, not only the viral book talk books. It just seems like a lot of us are like reading the same things, buying the same things, looking the same. Today's video is all about reconnecting with what makes you happy individually and uniquely. And if that is the same thing that makes a million other people happy, then so be it. But at least you know it's truly something that makes you happy and you're not just doing it because it seems like it makes everyone else happy. If you get particularly inspired by this video to find yourself a new hobby, but you either have already tried the ones that I'm gonna mention or you're looking for something else, I made 2 videos where I've gone over almost 100 different hobby ideas for anyone. So you're guaranteed to find something in those videos as well if you wanna watch those after you watch this video. Our first hobby and sort of theme, because I want to make these theme, but one of my biggest goals this year was to focus on my health. Movement quickly became one of those go-to hobbies for me. It was like a non-negotiable. I started to see some other benefits besides from just noticing like my muscles and getting stronger and, you know, feeling better and more energized. My movement of choice this year has been mat Pilates, Barre, and yoga. I kind of switch back and forth between them. I know this might seem very basic. What a lot of us are doing is going to Pilates and going to these cute workout classes, and everyone's getting in on it. And that's how I started getting in on it. I went to a couple classes, I kind of liked it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stick to it. Has unexpectedly taught me a lot about inner strength and resilience. Hard workouts that demand a lot from my body, that I'm shaking. If you also do Pilates, you know the Pilates shakes and trembles. Without noticing, I started relating struggling during my workouts, you know, that moment where you really just wanna stop doing the plank or drop the weight, reaching your breaking point. I started relating that to some of the hard things that were going on in my life. And I know that might sound like cheesy and cringy. It helped me reframe going through these hard moments in my personal life. This is honestly just gonna sound really cheesy, but I promise you it has helped me a lot to just think, okay, this is really only making me stronger. This is really and truly just a test. I can make it through. And you know, sometimes you fail, sometimes you drop the plank, sometimes your body is tired and cannot give more. But even then, you have like little lessons and little learnings. And I think part of this mindset got reinforced by a podcast that I recently listened to, The Diary of a CEO, but it was the interview that he did with Matthew McConaughey, where he mentioned Matthew that he went on this like exchange for a few months to Australia and he hated it, but he almost convinced himself and tricked himself that as he was having as much of a hard time, it was only because the reward afterwards when he came back home was gonna be so much better. Now, what reward? He just convinced himself that if the trial was so hard, it was only because the after was gonna be so much better. That led him to a lot of things in his life that really paid off. Reframing these hard moments all of us go through at some point in our lives, like powering through, getting through them. So in a much smaller way, my workouts just taught me a lot about strength this year. There were many days where I didn't want to go, where I didn't feel like it. There were many days where I really was just almost mad at the teacher for like pushing me. And there were days where I nearly passed out, I'm not gonna lie. Those days I just really needed to like learn and listen to my body and also just take a recount of what I've been eating, if I had been sleeping well. A lot of the times when I was feeling like my life outside of my workout classes was falling apart and I went to these workout classes, it also gave me a sense of control. Doing hard things in my personal life, and then I went to the workout class and it was also hard and I was like, no, this is not gonna get the best of me. And it really somehow motivated me to like try and at least control how that difficult situation went. And then obviously you get the endorphins from working out, rush after doing a hard workout, and you return to your personal life in a much better mindset, much like clear-headed. That's just another way that movement has helped me this year. Any movement related hobbies I think can bring you there. This next one is about creativity. This year I have trialed that out in various different ways. I want to say some of them more crafty. I've been really getting into like scrapbooking and almost like junk journaling, but I'm not gonna dive there yet. One of the unexpected ways that I have really tapped into creativity and foster imagination and honestly just spend less time on my phone and actually creating something that is not content has been through creative writing. While I think movement helped ground me and help find inner strength and really be present as well in my body and in that moment, creative writing has done a little bit like the opposite. It helps you like dream, it helps you make up your own world, whatever you want to create on ink and paper. This year one of the things that I wanted to do was get better at storytelling. Granted, it was in a way to help myself with YouTube and tell better stories. It was also for the craft of storytelling and just learning more about it. Found myself diving in and out of writing throughout my life. Here and there, whenever I get inspired by something that I see in a train commute, in my daily life, traveling on a plane. And I just decided to take this class last year, at the end of last year, on storytelling. And that class gave you like little homeworks to do. For instance, thinking of the ending to your favorite book and writing it differently, changing it. Or think about a person in your life and try and writing as the complete opposite personality that you know them to be. And it just activated a different creative side in my brain that I feel like previously I had ignored and not paid attention to, and that I found myself enjoying more and more. It honestly feels like I released a tap in my brain. It brings me a level of fulfillment and passion and excitement that I cannot explain and that I have not found a match for in anything else in my life. And if I hadn't given this storytelling class a chance and just carved moments out for myself for just writing whatever it is that comes to mind, I wouldn't have discovered this part of myself that brings me a lot of joy. So this is very personal and this is very specific to me, but what I wanted to mention with this specific theme and hobby, it has made me more myself than anything else that I have tried creatively. And that's why I want to really make a point of like everyone should try and find their go-to creative driven hobby. And creativity can come in many different forms. It can come through cooking, it can come through constructing something, it can come from even numbers, depending on how you go about it. If you take anything from today's video, I would highly recommend finding your creative fuel and your creative channel and really making time for it in your life. And this might help you. I've always been a reader in my life. Like, I have read books since I have memory. Since I learned how to read, I have been reading books. And something that pushed me towards trying this, I thought to myself, what if I try the other side of the coin? I'm still reading. I will never give up reading. But what if I try the creator side to the craft? For you, your go-to lifelong favorite thing to do, to consume, whatever it is, might be different. Of yourself, what if I try the other side of this? If you like video games, what if I try to make a video game? That can get you some ideas and that can get you going. Now, this next hobby is one that I recently implemented. This is about nourishment and caring for yourself and making day-to-day activities a little bit more ritual-like and like romanticizing it. That is a very glamorous way of talking about baking and cooking. Beyond learning new skills, because you can start out easy and then build from there and, you know, get new utensils, get new tools for cooking, really learn your stuff when it comes to the kitchen. Beyond that, really helps you slow down, be really intentional about what I'm eating and what I'm fueling my body with. You know, this ties back to the first hobby of like movement. So, you know, this also comes back to that and just focusing on what you are pouring into yourself. So for me, this has been just like trialing out a new recipe every week. Working a 9 to 5 and meal prepping, sometimes your lunch breaks are just boring. You're just eating the same thing every week, every month without change. You know, it has even helped spruce up my lunch break sometimes. I've been really stressed and busy this year, so carving out these moments to cook for myself, make a whole evening out of cooking or baking something. I cannot explain like the warmth that it not only brings to your home, but also to yourself. It's such a self-care ritual that I think goes so underappreciated. I feel like I have been used to the usual easy self-care things of just putting on a face mask and watching a comfort movie, and that's very low effort. I still do that, I still enjoy that. But there's like an extra layer of self-care and self-love that comes when you actually make some time to cook something delicious for yourself and try out something new. I'll give like a little trigger warning, even though I'm not gonna dive into this too much. It has helped me and my relationship with food improve a lot. I have never had a really good relationship when it comes to food, a healthy one. It has helped me a lot to just see food for what it can be and for what it is, like coming from a place of love. And you know, even when you're preparing something that is not necessarily healthy for you, the fact that you're making it for yourself and you're actually seeing and picking the things that you are ingesting, even if that's a load of sugar, there is still such an intentionality and such a love that comes there that you don't get from buying just a regular cookie at a grocery store. And for the final part of today's video and the final hobby, journaling, you might think, hey, you already mentioned writing. First of all, I'm a big fan of words and communication in all its written forms. And I'm gonna tell you how it's different from creative writing. I mean, journaling is very much mindful and connecting to yourself. If you're not that much into mindfulness activities and all of that, there is a more like methodical way that you can go about journaling, that if you're into self-improvement, self-care, perhaps not as much into meditation and yoga and that other side of mindfulness, you can still get into journaling and it can still bring you a lot of benefits. So all of these other hobbies have helped me discover new parts of myself. This hobby has helped me face myself. It has helped me understand what's going on in my head. It has helped me understand the decisions that I make in my life and my behaviors and why sometimes they just don't seem cohesive with what I think I'm going for in my life. Journaling is a quiet space that you create for yourself to actually know what's going on in that little head of yours. This is not my first year journaling. Between the end of last year and this year, it has really become a practice that I can say I never want to live without it. I have truly felt and seen the impact of what it can do in my life. So the first thing that I want to say when it comes to journaling is you do not need the perfect setup. There is not a perfect pen. There is not a perfect notebook. You can literally start journaling on a napkin. Now, I wouldn't recommend it because beyond writing whatever you're going through, a specific day or month, what you're thinking, what has happened in your life, beyond that, having an archive of everything that you went through a specific period of time in your life, it can help you find patterns of moods, of things that you go through, of how you respond to certain things, because you have a record of it. And sometimes you don't notice it. This time last year, you were going through something very similar in a different presentation than what you're going through right now. Or perhaps, for instance, if you were job hunting a year ago, and this happened for me. I read through my journal entry of when I was about to graduate from university and I was applying to endless amount of jobs, and I was worrying myself sick of how I was gonna have a livelihood, where I was gonna live. You know, like I had so many questions looking back at that uncertain point, an anxious point in my life, and knowing that behind the scenes there were so many things that were already in movement, and I was gonna receive this call that came out of nowhere to offer me a job. And it brought me such a level of trust in life, in the things that you don't know how they're gonna play out currently in your life. Looking back at it, and right now in my life, facing uncertainties and fears and new challenges, gifted me a sense of trust. A lot of the times you don't know how things are working out, but they are, and you just don't see it yet. Beyond helping you organize your thoughts, beyond helping you check in and really see how you're feeling in a specific moment, it can be a great companion, especially if you're going through a particularly tough moment in your life, a particularly lonely moment in your life, or even if everything's going great, just like soaking in that moment and being super grateful and super present, and knowing that probably whatever it is that you're grateful for was something that you once wished you had. And perhaps right now you're wishing for things that in the future, your future you is already gonna have. So if you start journaling now, you'll have all of this mix of emotions and moments and situations and complexities of your life to look back through and really adopt a different perspective when it comes to your life and the things that you achieve. It has helped me become more confident. I have a written record of everything that I have managed to do and everything that I have achieved, and also everything that I've struggled with. So it has helped me with my confidence. It has helped me trust myself and also life a little bit more. It also helps you become a better communicator. It helps you organize your thoughts, how you say things, how you communicate things. If anything, what helped me get into journaling was to let go of any expectations that I had. You know, some days my handwriting would be cleaner, others it would be all wobbly and shaky, and that might reflect that I was traveling on a train, or that might reflect that I was feeling really anxious. You know, I love how journaling can really capture so many different bits and pieces that you cannot even imagine at the time of writing it. You know, it has also helped me with boundaries. It has helped me reflect when I'm projecting my own insecurities and fears onto someone in my life, or when they are doing that to me, or when they are disrespecting me in a way. You know, as someone who used to struggle a lot with people pleasing, it has helped me a lot. Like, stand my ground. Know what I am comfortable with and what I'm not, because when I'm not comfortable with something, I'm like freaking writing for days on end. And that's when I see like, hey, maybe this bothers you, you know? Instead of it being on a loop in my head, it's on a loop on a page. And I'm like, you know what? This is actually not okay. So it has also helped me with personal relationships in my life. That's it for the hobbies that have helped me a lot this year, that have taught me so many more things than just the immediate skills that hobby entails. You know, I think we often think we need to do this grand thing for our lives to change, but if anything, this year has taught me that it's in the baby steps, small little hobbies that seem to not be doing anything in the grand scheme of things, that actually have the biggest impact when you do them repeatedly and when they're a constant presence in your life. I would love to know what is one hobby that you have been doing, or you've been really thinking of doing and you've just been putting it off for whatever reason. Maybe we can inspire each other with different hobby ideas as well. Thank you so much for watching today's video and tuning in. If you like this type of content, I have, as I mentioned, a few other videos on this topic, so go check them out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button so I know you enjoy this type of content. And I'll catch you in the next one.